TV. This week I'm actually interviewing a guy from the UK called Andy Phillips, and this week's interview isn't going to be on video. I'm on video now, but our interview was actually done by audio. So you'll see a picture of Andy and me, of course, but you'll only hear his voice. So don't think that your computer's gone wrong and the video suddenly stopped playing. After my intro, we'll be going across to audio. So I hope you'll enjoy that. Now, Andy, I want to give you a little bit of an introduction to him. He's got 30 years of marketing experience, and he's brought his extensive knowledge to the training arena to help business owners really understand how they can use the internet and social media to their competitive advantage. Andy's got real world approach to marketing your products and services online, and he shares techniques that are logical and achievable whatever size of business you are. He was actually trained by the corporate IT industry, where he was a successful sales and marketing manager and director, and he worked for large IT distribution companies as well as manufacturers and retail service providers. So he brings a host of skills and experience with him. And he now runs the digital asset creation and distribution company, which is a bit of a mouthful for me to say, called www.digitalcascade.com, and the link will be underneath this video for you. And he also speaks at business events, and he spreads the message of abundance marketing, which is something I really love about Andy. He is such a genuine guy, and he is not one of your internet marketers per se, where it's all hype and BS and everything else. Andy really shows you how to use online marketing and concepts and strategies and social media that gives you as an offline business real visibility and real returns for your business. And he's also designed many internationally distributed training programs and provides consultancy services to businesses across the world. And it's just a real pleasure to have him here with me. Like I say, remember, the video has not gone wrong. This is an audio interview that we did together, and I really hope you enjoy it. Do listen along, get a pen and paper and take some notes as well, because what Andy's going to share with you is really great stuff, especially if you are an offline business wanting to use online marketing to see results and increase your bottom line. So let's go across and welcome Andy to the show. So, welcome to the show, Andy.
Thank you very much, Carol. Great to be here.
It's great to have you here. Andy, I've just given a little introduction about you.
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody, how you got into what you do now?
I worked in the IT industry for, probably 20 years. And that was all to do with sales, marketing. I found marketing completely fascinating in the corporate world, but I hated the corporate world. So I loved the marketing, I just hated the job and decided to leave. I was in Berlin. I was on a job in Berlin for a distributor, IT distributor, and I got to a point where I really hated it, so I left. I decided I was going to leave the business and decided to do my own thing. And marketing was what I loved, so I just carried on doing that.
The minute you said there, marketing you found so fascinating. For a lot of people, marketing is like a big, oh my goodness, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is the thing about marketing. To me, it's all about psychology, and it's how people react to things, and that's what I find fascinating. There's so many depths to marketing that you can never learn it, or you can never get to the end of it. You're always learning new stuff, and of course with the way technology works as well, this combination of technology and psychology is incredible, because it means you can do so much. I mean, the bottom line of marketing is basically getting in front of an audience, getting in front of the right audience at the right time with the right message. To be able to do that, there's a lot of things that you need to understand, and it's not the sort of thing that most business owners have to understand. They have a business to run, so they try and market their business. And a lot of them fail because they just don't know what to do. They don't know how to go about it. It takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of effort, a bit of thought process. And although they have an idea of where their client sits, they don't really know exactly how to put themselves, as opposed to their competition, put themselves in front of that client.
And
And a lot of them do things the wrong way around, and that's one of the things that we try and pull back and get people to sort of really truly understand the way to engage an audience rather than try and sell to them all the time. There's loads of people who try and sell, and again, it's one of those big mistakes that people do, especially now on the internet, the way the internet is going.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that is such an important point. People should stop trying to sell and get in front. But then you get people that say, but I have to sell. You know, that's what the whole point of my marketing is to get people to buy from me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the problem is that people mistake this concept of marketing and sales. So marketing is not advertising. Marketing is not trying to sell a product or a service to a client. Marketing, as far as we're concerned, and let me go through a little bit of a process here, because this will help a lot of people, I think. When we go in to do consultancy with businesses, what we tend to find, and it doesn't really matter what size of business they are, what we tend to find is that the gut reaction is to go and advertise to their what they consider their client base. The problem with it, and especially online, is that if people don't know who you are and what you do and know what your values are and how you feel about things and all those sort of things that are sort of intangible, but if they don't know what your values are and don't know who you are and what you offer, then they won't buy from you. You know, we've heard this time and time again. You know, it's an old marketing adage where people need to have 5, 6, 7 touches of the business before they put their hand in their pocket. And it's absolutely true. So what I think a lot of businesses do is they go in from the marketing, or rather the advertising point of view, and try and sell something. They have limited funds much of the time, and so they want to use as much money to advertise their products and services to a client. The problem is that clients don't care. What they want is solutions to problems. What they want is to get answers to queries. They're looking at the internet and searching the internet for answers to things. Now, this could be the answer could be to buy something. It could be to try something out. It could be to understand the market a little bit more. It could be anything. But if you're not in front of those people with the sort of right types of solutions that they can get their hands on and understand the values of your business a little bit and get to know you, you know, we've heard this phrase, get to know, like, and trust. If we don't position ourselves and position our businesses in a place where people actually know who you are, they like what you do, and they trust you, then they're not going to buy from you. So what we do is we try and get the companies that we deal with, the businesses we deal with, to forget about the advertising side of it, but forget about trying to sell stuff to people all the time. Let's go back a step. Let's think about what people are looking for online and getting presence, a really good presence in front of them. Get answers, you know, blog posts or articles or press releases, you know, video and that sort of thing. Start talking to them on social media. Use social media as a platform to engage with an audience. One of the things that I don't know if you've seen this, but we talk a lot about this Rave Principle. It's something that we sort of made up because we're marketers. We love acronyms, you know. And you know, we started. Me and my business partner Dave Lyons started talking about how to explain this thing about, you know, building your authority and your reputation online. And so we started messing around with a few things, and we talked about reputation and authority. So we put RA, and the next thing was about visibility, and then we needed an E, and the most important thing, which was eluded us for probably 2 days, we needed an E to make this work, and engagement. It's as simple as that. So reputation, authority, visibility, and engagement. You know, it says absolutely everything of what you should be doing to market your business, not particularly advertise a product or a service, but to market your business, to get people to know, like, and trust you, and create a presence online. And what we've discovered over the years, and this is purely through a lot of experience, I guess, is that when we have a product to sell, it's almost impossible just to stick it in front of people and hope they buy it. What we need to do, we need to get people to know who the business is. We need to get more visibility of the business and start talking to an audience. And that's where this whole Rave principle comes in. So it's a core piece of marketing at the front end, which isn't particularly about ROI specifically. So it's not like we're creating an advert which is going to cost us £5,000 to do, and we hope to get £20,000-30,000 worth of business out of it. So because then we know exactly what the return on investment is. The return on investment is exponential when we talk about the Rave principle or the Rave way of doing something. It's building reputation, authority, visibility, and engagement online. And it's actually probably give you more return on your investment over time than any other type of marketing. And that's what makes it so interesting. I mean, the game's changed, Carol. On-page SEO is becoming less relevant, and social acceptance is becoming more relevant. So we talk about things like we always talk about things like Facebook and Twitter and all those sort of things as being really, really important, and they are. But Google have become a very, very clever organization where marketing is concerned, because if we think about where people actually do their searching online, most of the time it's Google. It's the most popular search engine on the planet, basically. And so what we need to do, we need to make sure that we're Google friendly. We need to align our values with Google's values. We need to align our marketing with the way Google delivers search results, because that's probably the most important platform for us out there. It's worth looking at Bing and the rest of them, but Google is probably the most important one out there. And the way Google are positioning themselves is to especially with the sort of upgrades, you've heard of the Penguin upgrade and things like that. They give them fluffy titles because they've actually hurt a lot of businesses, a lot of well-established, page one, number one in Google businesses that have been there for a long time, that use, heavily based SEO techniques, have just fallen off the planet, and it's because they haven't aligned themselves with Google's vision. So the game's changed. It's like when you look at a page of search engine results, like page one of Google nowadays for a specific search term, you might find a picture of someone, which is called author relevance. It's like an authority on a page, and that could be a blog post. It's what they're doing is they're creating authors or content creators who are relevant to a search term. I know this sounds a little bit complicated, but the bottom line is that if it's as simple as this in the psychological terms, if you have a little photograph of someone who's just written a blog post rather than just a normal text insertion into the search engine results page, your eye gets drawn specifically to that one. Now, if we think about this in terms of click-throughs or traffic, which is really what we're looking at more than anything else, if you put a search into a search engine, a search term into a search engine, and you get a whole list of results that Google are spitting back at you on page one. In the past, it used to work sort of this way. The numbers can be argued about, but it sort of works this way. The organic search, and that means the search that isn't paid for, at the top of the page, so page one, number one on Google, used to get something like 45% of the click-throughs. It can go up and down in different niches, but it's roughly those sort of figures. So you get 45% through the click-through. So if you get 1,000 time searching on that time every month, then you'll get 450 searches coming back to you, traffic going to your site, so unique visitors, 450 unique visitors going back to your site. If you're number two in Google, you may get 10%, and anything from sort of 3 to 10, you'll get something like 1 or 2%. So you really wanted to be number one in Google for your search term. But that's changed, because if we now have halfway down the page, which is not a page number one in Google, but halfway down the page, you might be 7 in Google, but you've got a photograph on it, and you've got a very good description next to it, because you can control the descriptions and the titles of these search engine results. then straight away you've usurped this number one in Google, because people's eye goes to the number 7 mark. So that what we're finding is we're getting a lot more click-throughs because we're linking up to Google Plus and the blog content that we're creating for our clients. So the game's changed. It's who's standing out on the page. What authority do you carry? Are you building a good reputation with this? Are you being seen? Are you being visible whenever someone starts searching for you? Is it you that people see a lot of? And this is how businesses are getting a lot more traffic. And so search engine optimization, on-page search engine optimization, is sort of getting less relevant, and social optimization and social acceptance, especially using the Google Plus platform, is becoming more relevant. So does that make sense? It's like the game's changing a lot.
Yeah, to me it makes absolute sense. But just let me ask a couple of questions about what you were saying. I mean, you just said so much. I'm sitting here thinking, right, I've got to ask about that. I've got to ask about that. When you were saying about the social acceptance and getting on Google, I know there's a lot of people that be sitting thinking, hey, this is internet marketing stuff. Now, I just want to clarify, I know you are not an internet marketer.
No, I use the internet to market. There's a bit of a difference, yeah.
Yeah, you have a tangible business. You work with tangible businesses. You don't, your target audience is not internet marketers that have the laptop lifestyle, is it?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, we've done some of that stuff in our past, and we've been okay successful at it. I mean, I've got products up online that are absolutely 100 internet marketing type things, but that's not what makes money.
No.
Businesses make money, and what we do is we take those businesses and get them in front of the right audiences so they get proper traffic, proper business coming through.
Yeah, and I think that is really important, because there's so many people that when they hear someone talk about SEO and Google and search and all of this, they think, but I'm not an internet marketer, I'm a normal business, I need to do it differently. But they don't. They need to think about all of these things, because a business that has a premises or a shop or offices or something, people are still looking online to find the offline businesses, aren't they?
Absolutely, and I think that if you disregard this concept of marketing your business via the internet, if you disregard it, you're actually cutting out, I would say nowadays, probably 60, 70, or even 80% of your target audience. It depends on the type of business you are, but I think a lot of business owners tend to think if they haven't got something which is downloadable, or they haven't got an online product, or they haven't got a shop online, then the internet is absolutely not for them. But the bottom line is we deal with plumbers and doctors and dentists, and these are the people. If you want a dentist in Maidenhead, you got a toothache, you go online.
Yeah.
And if you're not in front of those people, then they don't go to you. It really is as simple as that nowadays. We've talked about Google Plus. There was a thing that was called Google Places, which is now called Google Plus Local. And again, Google is basically taking over the planet, as you can probably hear. But they are the most important search engine, and I think especially in the Western world. Not throughout the world, in China and Russia, that you've got larger search engines, but for what we want to do within our businesses now, then Google is the company we have to align our marketing with, and what they're looking for specifically. And the reason why they did the Penguin update was to get rid of spammy, salesy sites. They don't want those things. They're not the best. They're not the best results that come back from pages. What they want is authority content figures to give people true information. If you're searching for something online, then they want to provide the best results possible. And this isn't because they're being nice, it's because it makes them money. Google are a multi-billion-dollar company, and it works for both searchers and advertisers. If you're a searcher and you put something into Google and you just get a load of rubbish, spammy sites back, then you just don't use Google, which means that you can't be advertised at. So they have to be the best out there. And for advertisers, what they want is, they don't want a load of spammy sales sites, because they're paying for position on the page.
Yeah.
So what they really want is for people to find some fantastic results, and at the same time their eye will go to the left hand side at the top of the page, and they'll see an advert which is carefully written, a PPC advert, pay-per-click advert, which we do as well, but that's another story. But it's a PPC advert, and that advert might catch your eye, and you might just click on it, and it might just drive some traffic. So it's good for advertisers, it's good for the searchers as well. So,
Yeah.
you know.
So you also said, when you started to talk about how you help businesses, and you're saying it's not this particular, it's not like advertising, which has that is the return on investment. Now, a lot of people I talk to, because obviously I work in social media as well,
Yeah.
and they're saying, if you can't prove return on investment, you're not doing your job properly, and it's all about return on investment, and you have to be able to tell companies this is your return on investment. Now, you said at the beginning, long term, exponentially, the return on investment is massive, but it's not what they should be looking at when they start to do their online marketing to generate customers, is that?
I honestly believe that if you go into it with this blanket vision of, if I spend £100, I've got to make £10,000, and I need to know what my percentage ROI is, which is advertising, then that's fine for what that is. If you want to build your reputation, authority, and your visibility online, and start actually talking to clients and building this tsunami of digital content, which people are going to see time and time again, and you're going to become the go-to person for that industry. If you want to become that go-to person, in other words, cut your marketing budgets incredibly over time. So instead of spending £5,000, you spend a few £100 every single month, month in, month out. It's a massively different way of thinking about the way the internet works. We know it works because we've been doing it for a long time. For getting people, our clients, when we start talking to our clients, they don't see it straight away. It's only when we have a conversation with them and we show them some of the things online that we do, they go, this is brilliant. I've never even thought the internet this way. I always thought about marketing as an ROI experiment, and it's not always that. This is about, if someone's looking for instance, you do a lot of stuff on Facebook. If someone puts in Facebook expert, you want to be in front of those people, and you want to be in front of them with a picture, something which is some great content which they can learn from, something like a video or something like a press release or a directory listing or a blog post, because once they get into your world, the second level to your marketing is offering your service. Now, you can't offer your service if you're not engaged with a client. It's really that simple. I mean, it's so obvious that it sort of passes us by. We've been brainwashed into this concept that the internet, what you do is you set up a squeeze page, and you squeeze information out, or your sales page where you've got a button at the bottom that says, buy it now. It's only, it's not $500, it's $300 right now, today. It's taking it down tomorrow, and all that sort of thing. And that's great for internet marketing. It's the people who are desperate to make some money or desperate to do something will always go for those things. But if you are a water pump manufacturer and you have corporate clients around the world, or if you're a plumber who lives in Maidenhead, then you have to have a presence online. I mean, I saw something the other day which was great. I mean, I'll give you an example. My oven stopped working. I've got an electric fan oven, and I love cooking, and so this was quite a crisis for me. I've got to tell you. My oven stopped working, and I know nothing about DIY and ovens. It's just not my bag at all. And so I'm thinking, why is my oven stopped working? I just don't understand it. So my attitude is I better go and buy a new oven. So I went online to look for buying a new oven, and right in the middle of these search results, when I was looking at buying an oven, there was a search result in it, and it said, "Don't buy, get it fixed." I went, oh yeah, I suppose I could try and get it repaired. So I clicked on this link, and it was a page which had a video in it, and Basically it was a spares company, but it had a video and it's showing you how to put the spare part in. It's just a filament at the back of the fan oven, and it cost £12.50.
Wow.
But it shows you exactly how to do it, how to unscrew the back, how to, you turn the electrics off, unscrew the back, you pull these things out, you mark them, you put the new one in, it's £12.50. So that's what I do. That's what I've done. I just went and bought the spare part off them. And the weird thing is that I was thinking to myself, while I was doing it, I was thinking, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant marketing. What they're doing is they're telling you how to do something for no money. This is we're going to show you how to save hundreds and hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
And of course, because it's their company, they're just showing you how to do it. But just underneath that, it says, "Oh, you can buy the part here."
Yeah.
It's so subtle, but it's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these are the sort of things that we want people to do. Instead of trying to shove sales down people's throats. See, people hate to be sold to. They hate to be sold to. They love buying things. They need stuff. It's like our clients. We don't sell the product to them. We just explain what we offer. Then they ask questions, and then we're engaging, and then we can talk about it, and then we can help them. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. I mean, one of the biggest things is making sure that your profile's right and putting your profile in certain places, especially for local clients. This Google Plus Local, or Google Places as it used to be called. Most people have got these and they've never claimed them. Most local businesses have got these sites that are ready and waiting to go and ready to populate with information, and they've just never claimed them. And it's sort of a sin not to do that.
Yeah.
But you need to do it in the right sort of way. You need to start linking up things. Getting ranked on Google nowadays, or any of the search engines, is really about who you are and what presence you have online. And this is why the game's changed. It's not just about being very clever on search engine optimization on the sites, putting the right titles in and the right content and using the right keyword enough times. That's going out of fashion. That's not being the way to get onto page one of Google anymore. We still use optimization. We use it throughout what we do, but it's not the key thing anymore. So we've got to start looking at what is Google looking for us to do, and we need to just align ourselves with it. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense to me, yes. So if somebody was, they're listening to what you're saying, they're thinking, wow, yeah, this is, I need to go and look at this. And you were saying it's about aligning yourself to what Google wants. It's very difficult, though, sometimes to find out what Google wants. How do people know what they need to do to give them a better opportunity of hitting that #1 spot on Google, or the first page?
Yeah, I mean, it's still important to get on to try and get on page one. I think that's still a thing. I mean, people do look on page two, but yeah, page one of Google for your specific keyword terms. Well, I mean, the basic things that we need to do is, I mean, the very first thing we need to do is to think about what our clients may be looking for. We need to do a keyword list. We need to understand what people are searching for, and this is really to do with more to do with profiling your client. This is something, again, which I think a lot of people think they know who they're selling to. They think they know what products they want. What I would suggest everybody does is reassess that. Ask yourself some very difficult questions. Look at what you've sold already. Look at what is in the industry. Look at what skill sets you have. And most importantly, look where the demand is. People have got skills and they've got passion in their business. And what they do is again, it's going the wrong way around. A lot of the things we look at the complete wrong way, the other way around to what most people do. You'll probably find this out after a while. But most people have got they have a skill set and they have a passion, and then they create a product that they think people want.
Yeah.
Every business does it.
Yeah.
We've all done it. You've done it. I've done it. Everybody does it. When we first start up, we do it always that way round. I'm going to build a product, and then I'm going to market that product.
Yeah.
In reality, what we should be doing is, we know what area of business we're in. We know the sort of skill sets we've got. What we should do is look what people are searching for and wanting and have a demand for, and then wrap our skills and our passions around that product, and that's what we sell. So it's just doing it the other way around. So customer profiling is really important. What does our customer actually want, and what do they search for on a regular basis? That's the first thing. So customer profiling, very, very first thing.
if people, because I get a lot of people that go, but how do I find out what my customer's searching for? How do I know what my customer's searching for?
Well, there's quite a few things that you can do in lots of different types of industries. We've got eBay Pulse. Find out what people are basically buying on eBay. You've got demographic websites like Quantcast. You've got the keyword search tool. There's a free keyword search tool that Google does. If you put Google keyword tool in, and you start putting some phrases in there, this is more of an art than a science. This is one of the reasons why we get paid for doing what we do, is because a lot of people just don't understand how to do it.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, if you think about this logically, if you put some words and phrases that are around your business, and think about what people would actually search for to try and find you. And you just put it into the Google keyword tool, and it will tell you how many people are searching every month for that specific phrase. So, for instance, if you was to put something in like, I've got one of my clients who does leasehold. He's a leasehold expert. And so when people are changing from leasehold to freehold, so they're buying their freehold, he's an expert in that. So we want to look at keywords like extending leasehold or reforming right to manage. These are all words and keywords around that business. And we can go onto the Google keyword tool, for instance, and just find out how many people are searching for it. If there's no one searching for it, then don't do that. If there's 18,000 people a month searching for it, then there's a demand for it. And so you can start focusing your business around what people are actually looking for. And of course, you can also ask people. Again, it's just engaging with people. It's like if you can go to a networking event or go to a business event, and a lot of these times you can stand up and you can say, "This is what my business does. This is the skill sets that we have," and you'll always have someone come up to you and say, "Oh, that's really interesting. What else do you do?" And you can start talking to them and ask them, "What do you need from us?" If I'm a copywriter, for instance, what do you need copywriting for? And so, "Oh, well, our website's crap." Well, okay, website copywriting could be something that has a demand.
Yeah.
And you start talking to people. We've got someone that works with us who's a great copywriter, and they started off by just doing copywriting for people's websites because people couldn't write on their websites. They didn't know what to put. So they helped them get the information out about what the product is, how it works, about them, gets their profile written and all that sort of thing. And then they've got a load of text for their website. That was something which they did probably 10 years ago. But because of that, they've now got to a point where they're just writing content for us. We can take any business, any company, and we can write the content for them. So a business owner doesn't have to write their blog anymore, doesn't have to write their press releases, they don't have to write articles and things like that. We do all that. That's the demand that we found. See, what we realised is that people understand the concept of being prolific online, getting lots of stuff out online, because that's how you build your reputation, authority online. But they don't want to do it themselves. They haven't got time, they haven't got the inclination, they haven't got the skill sets, they don't have the technological skill to be able to do these things. And so we found a demand in that area. We do that for them. We take an hour of their time a month, and that's it. And so they love it. So they just pay us cash to go and do that job for them. They outsource that to us. So we found a demand, we've got a skill set around it, and we love doing it. So, everybody's happy. We make money from them. They get rid of a job they just do not want to do. So, and this is the sort of things we've got to look at. Every business has got to look at the same thing. Where's the demand in there?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the first thing. Company profile, customer profile, find out what people want, identify the demands, and start doing product or services that answer that demand.
Yeah.
The next thing we really want to do for this whole thing is maybe build a profile, your own profile. And again, what I do tend to say is try and get this done professionally written, because it's sometimes you don't see it yourself. We ask a bunch of questions when we create profiles or biographies for our clients, because we use them in almost every area of the net. we'll ask all the questions that we know we need to ask because we've been doing it for a long time. But when you do it yourself, sometimes you forget or you take for granted what you do. But we need to establish authority. We need it to be either individual or company, mainly individual, but it needs to establish authority and reputation. So, 25 years in the industry, award winning, first in the industry to do something, that sort of thing. We need to highlight those things. The only person who's going to blow your trumpet is you. You have to blow your own trumpet in this world. But sometimes it's difficult for you to do it specifically yourself. So our guys tend to draw all this information out and write it down in a way that we need it to be positioned for different types of things on the internet. So, for instance, social bookmarking profiles need to be written in a certain way. Directory listings need to be written in a certain way. Blog profiles or profiles for your G Plus account need to be written in a certain way. So we take the information, then we rewrite them in certain ways and put them onto the net in the right places. So, but profiles really, really important. So you can do that. You need to create a blog site, and the reason why I say you can have a blog within your website. We just to let you know, what we tend to do is we tend to forget everything that the company's got already. We tend to put it out outside of what people do. So we'll create a blog, we'll get it SEO'd, we'll do all the linkage to Google Plus. We'll do Google authorship. So when a blog post is written, the little picture turns up on the search engine results and things like that. We'll do a lot of that stuff. We'll link a lot of things at the back end that most people won't even think about, and we can't really do on their site. We don't really want to mess around on their site because in reality, most people's websites don't work. And what we don't want to do is to start with something that doesn't work and try and fix it. We'd rather just do it brilliantly from day one. So we normally create what we call an authority blog. And we use WordPress, very, very simple, but there's a lot of technical bits and pieces that go on the back end, which is going to be impossible to go into today. But it's a blog which has got engagement in it, but it's also got social linkage in it, but it is linked to Google Plus, and so the content is seen in the search engine results with authority links. In other words, the picture to Google Plus and all that sort of thing.
Which sounds quite simple, or to some people it's going to be sounding like, oh my god, there is so much stuff to do, I don't understand half of what Andy's saying, I don't know how to do it.
Absolutely, this is the whole point, and you've got to ask yourself as a business owner, do I need to? Because most business owners shouldn't be touching this stuff. They should be giving it to someone else. There's no point, run your business. You've got to come up with ideas and concepts to, building new products, explaining it, building your business as you would normally do. Face front and build your business. This stuff is just something which has to be done. If you want to become the go-to people in your industry, this sort of stuff has to be done. Just give it to someone else. There are quite a few companies around that do these sort of things. You don't have to use us, but if you want to get something done quickly, then just outsource the damn thing. Don't try and work it out yourself. Don't try and build the blog post. Don't try and do your linkage to Google Plus. Don't try and do all these things. Just give it to someone else to do. It's cheap enough nowadays. But a really good optimized blog that's got all the right linkage is really quite important, and you can get onto page one pretty quickly with some of this stuff. So it's worth doing. If you want to do it yourself, if you want to link your blog to like your WordPress blog to your Google Plus profile, then if you just go in and type in I think it's Google authorship, and it will come up with, there'll be a Google page in there will tell you how to link your Google Plus profile to the content you create. And there's all the instructions in there on how to do it. It's a little complex. It will take, if you've never done it before, it will take you a little bit of time, and you won't see results straight away. Just to warn you, you won't sort of go into Google and say, well, it doesn't work. It takes a bit of time to propagate through and things like that. We have to be patient with this stuff, especially with Google sometimes. But you can do that yourself. You just go to Google authorship, and it will show you how to do that.
Yeah, I did that on my blogs myself.
Yeah, and it just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of patience. But most business owners aren't like us, Carol.
No, I know, and that's the whole thing, isn't it? I mean, that's why there are people like you there who, for me, I've done some of these things myself, but I find them mind-numbingly boring. It's like, no, I don't want to do this boring stuff. I want to get on and enjoy myself. I want to interview experts, and I want to do my
Exactly.
videos and create my programs and work one-to-one and help people build their businesses.
And I think in some ways you've got to look at what's going to make you the most money as a business. What's going to bring in clients to your business? And that's not by fiddling around at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to link up Google Plus with your blog. you know, just give it to someone else to do. So,
Yeah,
the other
exactly.
things, with Google Plus Local, the other things that are really important is things like obviously optimizing your Google Plus Local account. Making sure that you've got reviews and testimonials in there. If anybody's used your service, ask them to do a review. And again, before you really sort of go hell for leather on it, one of the secrets of it, and this is one of the things that we do as well for our clients, is that we do quite a lot of directory listings prior to setting up the Google Plus Local account. And the reason for that is because Google Plus Local, to rank you, has to rely on something. And what it relies on is something called citation. And that basically means that Google, its robots, its software, once you actually start putting your Google Plus Local listing together, or Google Places as it used to be called, it would go out to the internet and go and say, do you exist? Are you a solicitor in Warwick? Have you got an address and a phone number? Have you got a tangible business? And citation is just where you're cited elsewhere online. And what they look at is anything where your address or your phone number or your business title is. And so what we do is we create a lot of directory listings. We go to local directories, industry directories, that sort of thing, niche directories, and put your listing in there. Now, we do this manually. There's a lot of people are sort of talking about, especially, again, the internet marketing side of it will sort of say, there's you can use software to do that, and it doesn't work. It will pump out a lot of directory listings, but they will be rubbish and they won't work very well, and you're not going to use them. So what we do is we've got guys who will put something for a client. They put something like 20 to 50 a month in
Wow.
place, and we'll do that again exponentially, month in, month out, month in, month out. That's what we do. Testimonials as well, making sure that your reviews and your testimonials are up to scratch. Again, dependent on your business, but things like restaurant reviews or travel agent reviews are really big. But reviews in any business, if you're a plumber, you've got 20 Google reviews in your Google Plus listing, then you're going to get ranked and you're going to get more business because of it as well. In my presentation, I show one of our clients that we've optimized their site. We've also made sure that they've got a lot of reviews. So they've got a 30 out of 30 score and 11 Google reviews. And within the what we call the 10 box, which is the Google Plus Local listing, where you've got the map on the right hand side and all that sort of thing. Again, they stand out like a sore thumb because we've got the keywords sorted out, because we've optimized it, and we've got this. It's the only mortgage broker in if you go to Mortgage Broker Maidenhead, you'll see it. If you just type in Mortgage Broker Maidenhead, it'll come up with a listing, and right in the middle of it is our client, and it stands out like a sore thumb because it's the only one that's got a 30 out of 30 score and 11 Google reviews. No one else has got any reviews because they
Now,
haven't taken it seriously.
yeah, you just mentioned plumbers there. For a lot of plumbers, they're one-man bands,
hmm
and they might be thinking, well, how do I get reviews? What is he talking about, reviews? What do I do? How do I get those?
Well, Google Plus Local is a page, and you can get a link to it. And if I was a plumber and I understood this, and you don't have to do this yourself. All you have to do is say to your client, "Have I done a good job?" And they say, "Yes, you've done a fantastic job. Drunk a lot of tea, but you've done a fantastic job." And you say to them, "Could you just go to this link and just put a review in for us, because it'll really help us. We get, if we want to get good plumbers around the area. You don't want to get rid of the scam artists and things like that. And this will really help. This will make people come to us rather than some of those people that they don't know." Simple as that. And and the weird thing is, whenever I've asked someone for a testimonial or a review, or for my business, we do a job for a client, and we say, "Can you do a testimonial for us?" And they go, "Yeah, absolutely," because people love to give testimonials.
Yeah.
But if you don't ask them for it, they won't do it.
And I think that's really important. People have to remember to ask, don't they?
Well, if you make it part of your mindset or your system, and you take the internet seriously. If you don't, that's fine. You can put a newspaper advert in till you die. But if you really want some, to truck in some good business, then let's get the internet working. Let's make it work. It doesn't cost anything. It's really, really very, very cheap. The internet. You can pay as much as you want. You can market as much as you want. You can pay thousands if you want, or you can do it for like 10 quid a month. If you're doing little bits and pieces yourself, then it's a 10 quid a month. If you use us, it's like 297 a month. If you use another company, it might be, I don't know, SEO companies can charge anything up to $1,000 a month for about 3 or 4 keywords.
Yeah.
To try and get you on the page one of Google, which is working less and less and less. So you can pay your money, take your choice, you do whatever you think is the right thing for your business, but do something. Just one little piece of action is so much better than a ton of theory, and thought. Just do one little thing every so often. And again, the great thing, the reason why we call it exponential marketing is very simple, because stuff never leaves.
Yeah.
Unlike newspapers, where you've got, you can put a newspaper advert, that's a day. A magazine might be a month, unless you go to My Doctors, and they last 7 or 8 years. Magazines. Did you know Kennedy's dead?
Sorry.
But the internet. Sorry, that was a really stupid joke. But the internet.
Oh,
whilst
you're talking about jokes, are you a bottom or a boobs man?
Bottom.
You're a bottom man, are you? And boxers or Y fronts?
Boxers probably.
You have to think about that one.
Well, I have sort of both. I mean, some of my underpants are legacy, so.
And if there was one thing, one of your really annoying habits that Simone, your wife, could stop you doing, what would it be?
Oh God, probably millions of them. What have you got in mind, Carol? What's she been saying about me?
I'll talk to her afterwards and see if you pick the right one.
Well, I don't throw anything away, if that's what you're saying.
No, you can't think of one particularly annoying habit that you've got that you think she would love you to not have?
I can think of loads.
Think of loads. Okay, don't worry, not a problem. You can come back later and tell us.
Okay.
Another question for you.
Yes.
I know that you're in a band.
I am.
When you're in a band, do you actually publicise your business and try and get people to work with you?
When I'm in my band, do I try and get people to work with? I try and get people to come and see the band.
You don't have a big poster or anything telling them what you do for a business?
I do. I don't use it with the band though.
So they're two separate things then, business.
Yeah, the weird thing is that I market my band the same way as I market my business. And if with bands, people see you once and they remember the name, so we just try and flood the internet with our stuff, videos and all the rest of the business. So we do the same sort of thing, with the band as we do with our business.
That's quite interesting because as you were talking, a lot of what you were talking about was tangible businesses, because you work with real, sort of physical building, office, retail, whatever businesses that have an address. Your band or other people's bands doesn't actually have a tangible premises and an address. So how do people market? Because there are a lot of work at home people nowadays who don't want, they're not a Google Places because they're not a physical address, and they don't want their address out there everywhere because it's private. How does that work?
Yeah, Google Plus is one tiny aspect of it. It's a really important if you're a tangible business, then it's really important to be in Google Plus if you're a local business. Because if you're an independent mortgage broker that works in Scarborough, then people want to know that.
Yeah.
So, and the way it works, if you just put mortgage broker into you're searching for a mortgage broker. You put mortgage broker into your search engine. Google knows where you live, basically,
Yeah.
and it will just give you the right results for mortgage brokers in your area.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't want to do that, then you don't worry about that. We've got coaches, property coaches, life coaches. We deal with all these sort of entrepreneurial people as well, and a lot of them don't have the specific area they work in. But we look at the position, the job, the keywords that people search for. So we're still doing all that stuff. That's the biggest side of it. The Google local or the Google Plus local side of it is really more to do with the tangible businesses, and it really
Yeah.
works very well for them. But if you're not that type of business, then you don't need to do it.
Yeah, and I think it was important to bring that up because a lot of people might have been thinking, well, this will only work for a tangible business. I work with a lot of self-development people, a lot of coaches and service professionals who aren't a tangible physical business. So that's why I wanted to bring that up.
And we can use everything else. We can use all the articles, the blogs. We can. I mean, I'm just doing a blog today for a property coach, and we've created the blog. We've created videos. We've created lots of different types of things, but they're not specific to a certain area.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be linked down to a certain area. What can happen though after a while is that as a business grows, you might start off as a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, a single entrepreneur, and one-man business, whatever you like to call it. But if your business grows, then it will start taking over. There'll be lots of things that you'd be doing. You might get some premises and things like that. So, as you go through your business life, you'll find things that you need to do, and one of them could be setting down some roots and working with a local area and things like that.
Yeah.
So, you never know where it's going to go. So it's always good to be prepared for it all. Getting press releases doesn't matter where you live. Articles doesn't matter where you live. Your blog posts in a certain niche doesn't matter where you live. But if you do have a tangible business, then Google Plus Local is something which you really need to claim. And most businesses don't. This is the beauty of it. I think one of the biggest things here is that I think everybody who's listening to this will have the impression that everybody else is far ahead of them. Everybody's online, everybody's got SEO, everybody's got blogs, everybody's got this. And the reality is that most of your competitors, probably 99% of your competitors, no matter what industry you're in, don't do anything whatsoever. Yeah. And you just doing one or two little things will put you head and shoulders above the rest of the people. So, don't ever think that it's everything's taken.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's right, because one of the problems that I see is people are in a certain topic or an area, a niche, and they're looking around them and they think it's saturated, because they're forgetting that when you're in a niche, of course, you're going to see all the other people in your niche.
Yeah.
But the people on the outside of that niche have never heard of half of you.
Yeah.
So things aren't saturated. Everybody's not out there and all doing it great. It's only the people that you're looking at that you're actually focusing on that you're noticing.
Yeah, it's a bit like when you decide to buy, I don't know, a Ford Focus. And you want to get a gold one because you don't see anybody with a gold Ford Focus, and you think, oh, that looks really nice. As soon as you think that, the next thing you see is 25 gold Ford Focuses coming down the road at you.
Yeah.
And suddenly everybody's got one.
Exactly.
That's just human nature.
Yeah.
But what you should be looking at is, focusing on you. What do you do differently? What's your uniqueness? All those sort of things. These are the things that people do want to know about.
Yeah.
They want to know about your uniqueness. They want to know how you are different to everybody else. So really, I mean, just to run through some things here, just what the sort of things you need to become the go-to people. or the go-to person within your niche or industry is really, customer profiling, understand what your customer wants, a strong bio or a profile of your own so people know what you are and can start aligning with you, understanding your values and things. You need a flexible, dynamic site, and that's normally a WordPress site. That's a blog site where you can create lots of good content. You need to link up to Google Plus and start getting your authority online, really visual as you go through. Directory listings, classified listings if you're on Google Plus local, press releases, articles. But the biggest secret to all this, is consistency.
Yeah.
What most people do is they go, this is brilliant. I've learned so much today. I'm going to write a blog post. I'm going to get this done, blah, blah, blah. And what they do is they do that for a month and then forget about it, can't be bothered. I mean, I know people that have got a blog that they haven't touched for a year.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. This exponential marketing concept works because of consistency. So you want consistent, high quality, keyword focused content distributed in the right areas, getting in front of the right people at the right time with the right message. But it is consistency. It's keeping going. It's one of the reasons why when we do work with people, we say, look, we've got to do this for at least 6 months, if not a year, if not 5, just let's keep on going. As long as you've got a business, we can build and build and build more and more content. And you're going to flood the internet. You're going to become the only people see.
Yeah.
And that's really the secret of it.
What do you say to people, that come back with the answer, well, I'm spending thousands on advertising. I know we've touched on this earlier, spending loads on advertising. I don't get this online stuff. I don't need it.
Then don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, simple as that. If you don't get it, then I can't help. I think you either understand if you're of a type of person who uses the internet, then you'll understand exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I have people sort of come up to me and sort of say, I don't see why I ought to be on the internet. I said, well, don't.
Yeah.
It's up to you. I'm not here to convince you to be on the internet. Once you've decided you want to be on the internet, I can help.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've decided and you've seen that the internet is where people are, it's where your clients are. It's like we talk about, why should I be on Facebook? We've had this conversation and we've had it with people in a room, why should I be on Facebook? Because that's where your customers are.
Yeah.
That's where they are. If you don't want to be there, fine, don't. Put an advert in a paper. That's fine. If that's what you want to do. If you don't want to argue about it anymore and you want to find out and discover how you can be better at your business or better at getting your message out, then open your mind up to what is actually there right now. The internet is massive. Social media is huge. So, if you're not using it and you're belligerent, I don't care. Go and put your advert in your local newspaper and just be that person, be that company. If you want to look at the internet and see how it can help your business, I'll talk to you. I'm happy to give you advice. I'm happy to do consultations. I'm happy to talk to people. I'm happy to do all those sort of things.
Yeah.
But if you want to argue with me, I can't be bothered. Seriously, I've just got to the point where if you don't see it, I can't help you.
Yeah.
I'm not there to convince you that the internet is the place to be. I'm only going to be there if you go, I see the internet as a great place to market my business and market me and market my values, then I can help you.
And I think that's not only in the context of what we've been talking about, but what you've just said about if people don't get it, if they don't want it, you're not there to persuade them, is actually a top tip for anybody in any business area. If people don't want what you're offering, don't waste your time trying to persuade them they need it. Go and find the people who do want it. There's plenty out there.
The weird thing is, though, Carrie, I do a lot of talking in front of rooms at networking events, business events, and things like that. And I talk about how the internet works and how the internet's changed and some of the things that people have done. I give some examples of clients' work and things like that. And the amount of people that have come up to me afterwards, and it's sort of split into two camps. You get people who go, "That was brilliant. I can see it now. I'd really like to talk to you about how you can help my business." Yeah. And you get the other camp who go, I'm not on Facebook. Don't do that. Yeah. Crap. And I just look at them and I think, I sort of feel sorry for them, but
Yeah,
they're stuck in their ways, and that's fine. If that's the world they want to live in, then be happy. But the people who sort of go, oh, it's really interesting, I'd like to talk to you about how you can help my business. I will sit down with them and I'll talk to them
yeah,
and I will help them with their business.
exactly.
Hopefully at some point they'll say, okay, let's go and buy a product of yours or a service of yours. That would be fantastic. But I'm happy, more than happy, like you are, to talk to people about how they can help their business.
Yeah,
And again, it's not shoving sales down your throat. If you need me, I'm here. This is how much I charge. This is what I do.
exactly.
And that's what we do. We offer our services. People buy those services.
Yeah, exactly. And talking of which, if anybody would like to know more about exactly how Andy can help you, under the interview will be links where you can actually get in touch with Andy and you can connect with him and find out more and get in touch if you want him to help you.
Excellent.
That'll all be under there.
Yeah, we've got some webinars and things like that people can sort of, webinar replays that will explain certain bits and pieces. And just link onto those.
We'll put those links there. And if you could give let's go for a small business owner, one tip of how to increase their business or attract new clients, what would your one tip be? Because obviously we've spoken about a lot. There's a lot of stuff that we have to do if we really want to create a sustainable business and we want to get in front of people. What would your top tip be?
I think my top tip, if we was going to talk about one thing to do, is to get onto the internet and find out what people are really genuinely looking for within your niche.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's not a very sexy tip, but the bottom line is that most people don't do it. Most people will say, "Oh, create a video, do this, or and all the sexy stuff." But genuinely, I believe that if a genuine tip is to really discover what people are looking for within your niche.
Yeah.
And working out how you can get your message in front of those people. And this is why I talked about the keyword tool, the Google keyword tool, because without that, it doesn't matter how good your video is or how well your sales page is written, or your headline and all that sort of thing. A lot of people talk about you've got to have a fantastic headline. Well, you do, but if you don't know what people want, you can't write a headline. If you don't know what people want, what are you going to do in a video?
Yeah.
How are you going to engage with the clients if you don't know what the clients want? So my top tip is do some customer profiling. Really sit down. I mean, a lot of my business associates take the mickey out of me because I have what's called a pondering kit. I tell people to move away from the computer, get a pen and a piece of paper, a glass of wine, and sit down and start thinking about who you're selling to and why they would buy your products. Start thinking about your business. And we call it a pondering kit because I give these pondering kits away to people. It's a pad, a pen, and a bottle of wine in a bag. And I say, look, get away from the computer, take this, and sit down and start thinking about your clients, start thinking about how you deliver your products. And I think that is probably the most important thing to do, rather than worrying about the technology or, headlines or videos and all those sort of things, which are all quite, all needed.
Yeah.
But really genuinely think about what you're selling to your clients, who they are, what are they looking for, what's the demand, how can you fulfill that demand,
Exactly.
That's my tip.
Great tip as well. And I'll look forward to my pondering kit arriving in the post.
I will send one to you, Carol.
Well, thank you so much, Andy. You have given so much information there to people. It's been really, really useful. Like I say, there will be links underneath if anybody wants to get in touch with you, because I just know that you just know that your stuff.
Thank you, Carol. I mean, and thanks for asking me on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really, really enjoy. I mean, I enjoy talking to you any time anyway. But to try and help businesses, just get their act together and start thinking about this is really important to me. You can see that I've got passion in this business. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do want to help people. So
yeah. Two of a kind. I love helping people as well, which is why I'm interviewing people like you and bringing all the information to them.
Excellent.
Have a great week, Andy.
And you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. So, what a great interview and so much information that Andy shared with you. Now, if you want to know more about Andy and what he does and how he can help you and your business, the links are down underneath the interview, ready for you. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask, pop us a comment. You know, tell us what you think. Share your thoughts. Would really love to hear them. And I will see you on the next expert interview, Ask Carol episodes, or the live on air Take a Break, Have a Chat business TV show that we run now every Tuesday lunchtime for you. If you want more information about that, click the link above that says live chat or live show. And I'll see you very soon.